Hello everyone, welcome to Learn Law with AKP. Today we are starting Unit 3, which deals with the contract of agency under the Indian Contract Act 1872. Agency is one of the most important concepts in business and contract law because people often act through representatives instead of doing everything themselves. In today's class, we will understand the meaning of agency, the parties involved, practical examples, and an important case law. This topic is frequently asked in semester examinations, so understanding the definition properly is very important. Let us begin. Agency means a legal relationship where one person acts on behalf of another person. In simple words, a person authorizes another person to perform acts or enter contracts for him. The person acting is called the agent. The person for whom the act is done is called the principal. This relationship creates legal rights and obligations. Agency helps people conduct business efficiently without being physically present everywhere. Now, Section 182 provides the legal definition of an agent. According to the Act, an agent is a person employed to do any act for another or to represent another in dealings with third persons. This definition highlights two important functions. First, performing acts on behalf of another. Second, representing another person before third parties. Therefore, agency is all about representation and authority. Now, every agency relationship generally involves three parties. First is the principal. The principal is the person who grants authority. Second is the agent. The agent acts according to the authority given. Third is the third party. The third party is the person who enters into transactions with the agent. Understanding these three parties is essential because most exam questions begin with identifying them. Now, let us understand agency through a simple example. Suppose Ram owns a house in Hyderabad. Ram moves abroad and cannot personally handle the sale. He appoints Shyam to sell the house on his behalf. Here, Ram is the principal, Shyam is the agent, the buyer becomes the third party. When Shyam acts within his authority, his actions legally bind Ram. This is a perfect example of agency. Now, agency is extremely important in modern business. Large companies cannot personally conduct every transaction. They appoint managers, sales representatives, lawyers, and brokers as agents. Through agents, business expands faster, decisions are implemented efficiently, transactions occur even when the principal is absent. Therefore, agency plays a vital role in commercial life. Now, let us understand the important characteristics of agency. First, authority must exist. Second, the agent represents the principal. Third, agency is based on trust and confidence. This is called a fiduciary relationship. Fourth, acts performed by the agent with authority bind the principal. These characteristics distinguish agency from ordinary contracts. Now, let us understand an important case law in Watteau versus Fenwick. A business owner purchased a hotel but continued operating it under the previous owner's name. The manager was instructed not to buy certain goods on credit. However, the manager purchased cigars and other goods from a supplier. The supplier was unaware of the limitation placed on the manager. When payment was refused, a dispute arose. The court held that the principal was liable because the manager acted within the usual authority of a person in that position. So, here, legal principle, a principal may be bound by acts falling within the apparent authority of an agent. This is a landmark case in agency law. Now, let us quickly revise. Agency is a relationship of representation. The principal gives authority. The agent acts on behalf of the principal. The third party deals with the agent. Remember these definitions because they form the foundation of the entire unit. For examinations, always remember the legal definition under section 182, the three parties involved, the concept of authority, a practical example, and the important case law. Including these points will help you write a complete answer. Let us conclude today's topic. Agency is a legal relationship where one person acts on behalf of another. The principal grants authority, the agent exercises that authority, the third party deals with the agent. We also understood through Watteau versus Fenwick that principals may be bound by acts falling within the apparent authority of an agent. Therefore, agency is based on authority, representation, and trust. For exams, always remember definition, parties, example, characteristics, and case law. Thank you for watching. If you found this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe to Learn Law with AKP. See you next class.